BC's chief medical health officer is weighing into the pot debate. Perry Kendall is among a group of medical officers who want the federal government to reevaluate its marijuana laws, including penalties and regulation. Dan Hutchings joins us now with more in tonight's Checkpoint.
Jim, Dr. Kendall and his counterparts in Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia say Canada's drug laws are archaic. Criminalizing the use of marijuana and tough drug laws haven't worked. They say pot should instead be taxed and regulated. BC Bud, it's famous worldwide. And while lighting up isn't legal, some medical health officers think it should be.
There's a number of contentious issues that public health has to get engaged in from time to time.
Dr. Kendall and his Nova Scotia counterpart are asking Ottawa to stop treating drug use as a crime.
For the last decade, Portugal has decriminalized all drug use. And they have some of the lowest rates of drug use in Europe. And they have some of the least amounts of harm from drug use.
In their newly released study, the medical health officers argue that drug prohibition has not effectively reduced the availability of most illegal drugs and has instead contributed to a vast criminal enterprise and related violence, among other harms. And so, alternatives should be prioritized for urgent evaluation.
We're advocating an approach that says, let's look at the evidence and see what works.
And they came up with surprising conclusions, that strict drug laws do not result in lower levels of drug use.
3, 4, snort some more.
That anti-drug messages actually make drugs more attractive, even cool to kids. Evidence also suggests needle exchanges in methadone clinics work, and that it might even make sense to prescribe heroin to addicts in some cases where everything else has failed. As for marijuana, the doctors say the current laws don't keep pot off the streets and they're allowing drug gangs to flourish.
We've seen grow-ups and what that does to the housing stock and the housing market. We've seen gang wars and shootings as people fight for turf.
Kendall's also critical of Ottawa's recent move to toughen drug penalties because he says the evidence indicates the current crime-based approach isn't working. And that leads to our checkpoint question tonight. Do you support the legalization of marijuana?
A lot better than having it underground and have all the criminals deal with it and make the money. So, yeah, I'm in favor of legalizing.
Yes, not for me, but yes.
Having children that grow up and just feeling like some of the diversion, some of the things that keep them, I think, focused on the things that I want them to. I don't support legalization of marijuana.
Oh, you betcha. That's what's creating an underworld. That's what's creating a black market. The fact that it's not legalized.
I think it's an outrage that liquor is legal and marijuana is illegal. I would far rather see marijuana legal than liquor any day, any time. Liquor's caused grief, disease, all sorts of things. You rarely see anybody aggressive with marijuana.
Kathy says the only reason I would support it is to get rid of organized crime. But then what? Would you have government-run stores? If that were to happen, I'd like to see the money go towards addicts that are on the street. Lynn says no, it's a threshold drug, leading from marijuana onward and upward to crack, heroin. I've seen it happen, ending in an overdose and death. Ryan says yes, alcohol, tobacco, junk food are not illegal, yet proven to have numerous health problems. Marijuana has proven health benefits. And the results of our web poll, 78% support the legalization of marijuana, 22% do not. When asked today, Premier Christy Clark declined to weigh in on the issue. She says it's a federal matter and should be dealt with at that level. So far, the federal government is adamant it won't legalize pot. And that's tonight's Checkpoint.